Well, I'm in this Corolla model AE102. It got brought to me more or less in this condition. Yeah, it'd been an auto elec. The radio didn't work and the cigarette lighter didn't work. Yeah, she got quoted between $500 and $700 to get that repaired because some wiring was melted. I'll show you all a bit later. As you can see, the radio works now. All I've done is cut one wire and everything's fixed. I just need to bypass one wire and there we go, we're done. Probably $150, not $500 to $700. And mechanically this car is very poor. I drove it in and it's the worst brake pedal I've ever felt on a Corolla. It sinks right down. It feels like it's full of air, like you can pump it up. I looked under the bonnet and it's just a mess. So she could be spending her money on something a bit better than a radio and cigarette lighter. So I'll just do the wire bypass now and put it all together. But who knows where all the parts are. Well, the story starts here at the cigarette lighter. Something obviously shorted in the socket. I've checked the socket, it's not short at the moment, because sometimes the pins, those pins can touch the outer edge. It's pretty close on one side, but it could have been it, who knows. And it's just let the smoke out of everything. Obviously someone put a bigger fuse than they should have in there, and yeah, it didn't blow, and the wires just melted. So, and yeah, they all stuck together and just kept shorting and blowing the fuse. I'll turn the heater off because it might make it hard to hear me. But yeah, the wires down here were the main issue. As you can see, bare copper and it was shorting. So I cut those apart and yeah, it all worked. So what I've done, and it's the negative wire that's really badly damaged, but the positive seems fine everywhere I can see it. So I traced it back up here to the highest point I could find it, and I've cut the negative out. You know, I'll make it nice and tidy, but I've just cut it out so the negative can't be an issue down further where there's damage I can't see. Hopefully it's all good up further, but since you've got a lot of loomage there, it's good heat sinking. So the further you go, the less damage you'll find. So, well, that's if you're lucky. But since it all works fine, I've jiggled everything, I've squeezed everything. It hasn't blown the fuse. I've only put a 5 amp fuse in instead of 20, which is recommended. And it's all working fine. I'll only put a 10 amp in when the car goes, and recommend not to use the cigarette lighter under load. But yeah, this saves her a lot of money. So I'll just cut a link out there, and I'll just bypass the negative. That's it. Done. Well, just to make sure, I traced that earth as far back as I possibly could, just to make, you know, cut it back as far as I could, so if there is any compromised insulation on any positives, it won't short to that negative. But somewhere in that corner it would splice into a fatter wire, so as I say, there's only about 1 or 2 inches of damage from there on, but everything seems fine, so I'll just put some zip ties on those wires. It's fun cutting all that open. But, yeah, zip tie that up and put it back together. Just fix it up down here. Oh, there we go. All back together again. Everything's working. Like everything works. Like cigarette lighter works, radio, all these buttons, all the lights, heater, aircon, ignition. Yeah, all seems to work. When you turn off the ignition, it'll turn off the lights. It's an automatic feature. Just got to turn them off and on again. Yeah, all good. I even put a new globe in here because the other one was pretty dim. So, sweet. Under the bonnet of this car doesn't look too pleasing for something that has been serviced recently. Rocker cover gaskets pissing out everywhere. The hoses, well, they're fucking ancient. It's been in an accident, and as you can see the condenser's quite bent, because that's the condenser you can see touching the radiator. And it bends back. It's been rubbing there, so I don't know if that's been leaking or who knows. Yeah, the belts look a bit crappy. The brakes feel terrible in this. It feels like there's fluid, never been bled. Let's have a look in there. Oh, yeah, that looks awful. It's black. So, brake fluid flush and all that shit. There's no fuel leaks though. Yeah. It just needs a good bit of TLC and a new headlight globe.